Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. This is probably Economics 101, but a lot of people in my district are misunderstanding 101 along with me. In May of this year, unemployment remained at 4% for the 16th consecutive month, and at 3.7%. This means that unemployment remained at or below 4% for the longest stretch in 50 years. In the U.S., the job openings rate has fallen by more than 1.5 percentage points from its peak, while the unemployment rate has crept slightly lower. In other words, the job openings decline, but so does joblessness. And I'm wondering if there was any expectation that this would happen, this would occur.
There is an expectation that the level of the ratio of job openings to unemployed people has been in historic territory, all-time highs for a while now, in the last year or so. And there is an expectation that it will come down. There a while ago, there were 2 jobs for every unemployed person. Now we're down to 1.7, I believe, or 1.6. And that still speaks to a historically tight labor market, where the demand for labor still very substantially exceeds the supply of available workers. So we do expect as things, and that, by the way, that's a way that the labor market can become less tight without having unemployment go up.
I'm sure you're hearing this all over, as I am, and that is business people. I have a good friend who has a number of barbecue restaurants in Kansas City, and he is constantly telling me how difficult it is to find workers, to the point where he did something he thought I'd never do, put a sign out in front of his restaurants, job openings. And are there particular industries or sectors of the economy where we would expect this sentiment to be particularly true?
No, and that is right. That is, there's still a significant labor shortage. The surveys at the aggregate level show that it's not as bad as it was 2 years ago. So gradually, businesses are reporting that they're having better able to find workers. Workers are reporting that they're not quitting their jobs as much as they were. That's a really good sign of how tight a labor market is how much people feel free to quit their jobs voluntarily. So those things are all suggesting a gradual cooling and a gradually getting supply and demand back into alignment, but we're not there yet. We still have a significant excess of demand over supply.
Are we also finding that well, I know in Missouri, that in spite of the fact that there is some, jelly-like movement with the economy, people are still willing to go, in our community, still willing to go out and buy homes. I mean, we're not having difficulty in terms of people going out getting loans, even with the interest rates rising. If all of this continues, if the consumers are constantly paying whatever the interest rates might be, are we going to get stuck just continually going up?
Well, no, I don't think so. So in housing in particular, there is the housing sector nationally has flattened out and maybe ticked up a little bit, but at a much lower level from where it was, with rates as high as they are. So supply and demand there are getting back into alignment. And I do think that housing inflation is set to come down as we move forward. There's a particular way that the inflation is calculated there, so that you're really only looking at the you're waiting for leases to come due and roll over at much lower levels of increase. So we think housing inflation will be coming down significantly over the course of the rest of this year and next year.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlemen.